All right. So are we going with then moving on or pineapple? Because
No, pineapple's my safe word. Don't use that one.
oh well, that just means
Mine.
Okay, so moving on then.
that's
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a podcast designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. Whatever kind of LeChump or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. We even think you Drifto Hella Flush guys are all right, as long as you've built it yourself and drive it hard. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing, and if you can handle it, Chrissy will give you just the tip. I'll be your pit marshal. My name is Jeff. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
and I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back to listening to another awesome episode. We have made it to episode 12, which is crazy.
Isn't it 13?
But we have
No, this is totally episode 13.
13.
Well, I'm sorry. The notes say 13, or they say 12, so I just read what I was supposed to.
Nobody advanced it.
Numbers are hard.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. So, I mean, did you really count the one that happened live and nobody can really listen to?
It
is that
is
really
impossible to
Okay,
read
right.
numbers.
It was
Sorry.
a funny episode. You're a towel. All right.
There you
So
go.
that was 13, and so now let's talk about what you're working on. Jeff, what are you doing?
All right, so this is New Jersey. I am calling from. Christmas decorations and tree have gone up. The winter care and storage of my gear has happened. I put snow tires on both my and my brother's car. Which
Wait. What are those things?
Snow tires.
Oh, you needed them last week, 2 weekends ago, right?
I know.
Really?
exactly.
Because my rear-wheel drive Mercedes made it just fine. Didn't need snow tires.
Well, sure.
to
The
be
Civic
honest-
drove around Road Atlanta on Falcon and Zenus's too, but doesn't mean it did
That
well.
That
Air
just
quotes,
happened.
snow
But
tires.
it did do it well.
Yeah. Well, I probably don't
National
need them in New
champions.
Jersey either at this point. But, I lived in North Jersey, so I had really good snow tires. And my brother's Lexus is rear-wheel drive, so, one flake hits and that thing can go right into a tree. So we got snow
Fortunately,
tires
he takes
there,
the
too.
train, so don't really need
It's
it.
true. He doesn't really commute that far.
No,
But,
but it's also a bad. I love that car. Love
It is very
car.
nice.
So much
I
for the WRX sitting in his driveway for the last 5 years. It just
Sorry, not sorry, Jim.
Well, that will get to my house soon and be on the auction block for whatever flat build,
Vaping.
soon
Soon to be charged with indecency with a minor.
Exactly.
Wants to trade you a broken ATV or a broken Xbox, rather, and
And a laptop that you got under suspicious circumstances.
Exactly. We will not be selling that, but we will be selling it for like $10. Like first flat bill kid that shows up with $100 bill in his pocket might go home with it.
Well, hey,
So-
I'm going to be up there next week with a trailer. We'll talk.
Hey, sure. So anyway, so that's what we're working on here. I also had some time with our film documentarian that followed us at it was Jersey race a couple of months ago.
Thompson.
It was Thompson. You're right. Thompson race. And he's working on some stuff, and he was talking about our, basically he wished us all a great holiday season and said he's still working and hopes to come see us next season.
Cool.
awesome. Like, see any clips or anything? I mean, I guess you're just talking.
No.
to him.
He hasn't really, he said he hasn't done anything with it yet. He's really outlined it. He's logged a lot of stuff, but he hasn't edited anything yet.
All right, cool.
I'd say that you guys are all kind of all over the film thing because on the Everyone Racers Facebook page, you've got that documentary that they did in back up in New Hampshire where the guy's dad became obsessed with the Civic as it was in its Mr.
It was
Fister.
like a serious shout out.
Everyone loves Mr. Fister.
Absolutely.
I've never imagined so many people get excited to see Mr. Fister. Like, there's Mr. Fister. Oh, yay.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, all my neighbors still call the Civic
Yes,
Mr. Fister, no matter what it looks like.
And then there's the small child that saw it in New Hampshire and then said, "Oh wait, that's what it is." When it was a giraffe. They
Exactly,
said.
it's totally a giraffe.
It's Mr. Fister.
10-year-old kid. Hey, that's Mr. Fister. What's
From,
Mr.
like,
Fister
4
mean, Daddy?
From 4 years ago.
Well, there's an old movie called Top Secret.
Anyway, that's what I got going. Who else is working on stuff? Mental, why don't you go? Because I think Chris and Christy's are linked this week.
So, we had finals week, so we're busy. But the missus and I finally put up our Christmas lights. Literally, we were the only house on the cul-de-sac without Christmas lights. So we're not the Scrooges.
You're the Jewish family.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
So we're looking to I'm looking to roll up there next week after the holidays and maybe fetch myself a trailer and perhaps a better attempt at a live show. How do you guys feel about the rolling up on the 28th, doing a recording the 28th, and then I come home the 29th?
We're here.
We'll make it happen whenever.
Can you talk to your cats about letting me sleep in their room?
Yep.
Both doors are always closed. That's good.
What do you think?
She's like, I can accept a guest, I think.
Well, because he always comes in there and they inspect everything that's in my suitcase and then make sure that I'm not messing with anything, and then they leave.
Or smuggling tuna fish. They're like,
and you know what? They really like things that smell bad. So when Jeff comes over, they're like,
oh my God, your race smells one race.
It did, however, outstink a rotting pig. So
true, it's true. We'll get to that later. Chris and Chrissy, what are you working on? Chris,
we went on vacation in Florida. We had some time off to burn, and no one apparently travels the second week of December. So Southwest it was $130 to get from Philadelphia to West Palm Beach and $37 to get home. So we visited my dad.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't take a Greyhound for that cheap.
Right. It was $167 round trip each, and then I got the rental car deal through work. We had what did we have for a rental car? Oh, we had a Ford Fusion Titanium all-wheel drive EcoBoost, which I was a little
brand new.
Apparently quite memorable.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with the
nice.
Power. Like, it really just didn't have much power.
It's
Like,
pretty
I thought the 2-liter EcoBoost was supposed to be all hot, and it wasn't great.
Yeah,
the car was fine otherwise.
That's a lot of car for a little Ford banger.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess when I'm used to the Mercedes, everything else feels slow.
It's true.
I also I made Christmas gifts for my coworkers and employees. I made snowmen welded out of varying sizes of nuts and washers and steel rod.
Kind of cute.
That's dope. Did you get any pictures? Because we should throw that on the Facebook page.
Sure, we will do that afterwards. Yeah. There's a whole bunch on
That's
our
awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I made 20 of them. That was fun. Took me 4 hours and cost $21 in materials, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so cute." And also put coolant in the Civic because since we got home, I left it on the trailer, stuck it in the yard, and plugged the block heater in and said, "I'll get to that soon."
Gotta go. Other things to do.
Right. So I finally put coolant in it, and when I was letting it idle, I'm hearing quite a lot of noise come through the catch can too. I'm like, "Wow, that's a lot of noise through there." I don't think it usually has like a popping through the catch can. So I'm not sure what we blew up through there. We'll figure it out later. Hey, the motor still runs, still has good oil pressure, and that's now the backup motor. So
doesn't matter because national champions.
That's right.
Sure.
Okay, I was also on the same vacation, and we had lots of beach and pool time, which was awesome. And we did all of our Christmas shopping while we were away. So we needed to. We didn't do much because we got back from Atlanta, had a couple of days of work, and then went on vacation. So Chris and I sat on phones and iPads and just shopped a lot. And then I do most of the shopping for my family. So it was a lot of.
What can Brown do for you?
Pretty much. And we tipped them nicely, which we'll talk about later, but make sure that you tip your UPS and FedEx people. And now we have tomorrow is all wrapping all the time. And yeah, so that's what we've been doing.
Cool.
Very cool.
News and notes.
News and notes time. I think Mental has an update from last week.
Absolutely. Big news. Hallett's rollback. They found it. They found Hallett's rollback just outside of a junkyard in Tulsa. Apparently they tried. And I remember, Chris, you said something about this because it had the graphics on there. Or no, it was Chrissy. Chrissy, you said something about, doesn't it have graphics? And they tried to burn the graphics off, but like.
Burn them? Like burn?
I don't know. They were trying to get the graphics off there, but it clearly said Hallett. And as you guys astutely noticed with Soggy/Justin's old Freightliner, you can't hide old graphics. So Hallett's rollback has been found. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, because the adhesive still sticks to the thing, and then if you drive it around, it just gets stuck to it.
Dirt, yeah.
Well, and also because that paint is protected from fading and all the other, the sun's harmful UV rays, whatever. So this is we've got to touch on this and then we got to keep going. But there's an extended debate on a lot of the Facebook groups about Formula One is, quote, seriously examining the grid girls. And it's a lot of hysterical, misogynist, and then honest stuff about that. My thing about the grid girls is it does kind of it sends a message to girls, hey, you're just here to look pretty. You're not here to put on Nomex. You're definitely not here to be an engineer. And what I liked about it is in several of the arguments, they brought up a crap can racer out of California who mocks the whole thing. That's what I like about entry-level crap can racing is it's equal.
That's Hella Shitty is the one who did a whole.
Is that
Sonoma.
what he's referring
to?
Be.
The Sonoma Raceway Boys.
Boys.
Yes.
And they've done it a couple of times. Like they had pictures of one where he's like literally wearing booty shorts.
Oh yeah, the whole team does.
And high heels, and he's holding an umbrella for a female driver. And what I love about that is Jay Leno had a joke 20 years ago about you never think about how stupid girls look in Playboy until you look at the guys in Playgirl. Oh, here's Jake working on his Top Fuel dragster in the nude. Watch Jake get a little too close to that exhaust manifold. So
it's a classic bit.
It is. I'm not in favor of banning anything. I don't like banning stuff, but I do like mocking things. And so if you're an advertiser and you want eye candy out there, I think the obvious answer is to put a dude out there. And that's fine because there are girls who make a living out there being those kind of endorsement models, and I don't want to take anything from them. But at the same time, I'd rather see a girl in Nomex strapping into a car than a girl trying to sell me something.
Yeah, I read some of this. Some of the people were trying to say that the grid girls or people in general have a place because, like, from the grandstands, you have to be able to see, like, the Ferrari flag with the number, or else you won't know where the Ferrari is.
Hey, Jim and I have totally been Chrissy's umbrella boys on rainy track mornings.
No, I don't even think it was raining. I think it was raining the night, like the day before, and I think I was starting on Sunday maybe, and I think we definitely have. It'd be hard to find, but it was definitely a New Hampshire race because I said I need grid boys. Because it's dumb, really.
Good.
I laid on your hood.
I actually think like if that's what they're doing, they're there to like hold the spot in the grid and give a place where you expect the Ferrari to show up. It's stupid that they're girls. It's stupid that they're in scantily clad because that's like, I guess supposed to bring in the male dominated like viewership, which is silly. We all know that, like, I don't know. It all sounds dumb. But then I remembered, like, a couple of years ago, I watched NASCAR. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. But they had, like, this Miss NASCAR Miss Sprint Cup, who, at the end of the race, would be in a fire suit, a NASCAR fire suit, with Sprint Cup logos all over it, and literally would, like, stand in winner's circle in camera view behind the driver who's being interviewed. And it was always really silly because she was kind of creepy photobombing, and I never understood it.
Seriously.
I like used to watch and go, is anybody not seeing that girl just kind of standing there?
Or
like,
and then who is thinking, wow, that girl back there is really great? Like, no.
Like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if it were a random 45-year-old man standing back there, it's like, what's
right?
going on?
Right?
And I wouldn't say that it was like spokesmodel hot. It was like just a woman. I later read that actually the Sprint Cup, Miss Sprint Cup, ended up being a big part of the marketing. So like she's the one that ran the Twitter and she ran all this. So a lot of people like actually really cared about who she was. I didn't. I wasn't a NASCAR fan. But this leads to, in case you haven't watched NASCAR in a long time, Sprint is no longer the main whatever the heck it is
sponsor.
Sponsor.
They're not the title sponsor.
We have openings for sponsors, and obviously we're very good.
Oh,
at
yeah.
We quite are. We are, and I should mention Extreme Experience and Harbor Freight Tools. You should totally sponsor us.
Honda Performance Development.
Yes.
Yeah, so
our
anyway,
pizza shop down the street.
So the Miss Sprint Cup has been replaced by the Monster Girls, which are stupider than the F1. They're like skimpier outfits. They're like leather. They're like dressed like cheerleaders. And even NASCAR Nation over the season break last year, like totally flipped out and said, this is the stupidest thing ever. So it's like Miss Sprint Cup was totally acceptable, but this is just really stupid.
Well,
I don't really know.
and I'll accept hype and I'll accept the selling of the sexuality of it. But what I don't like is that it's just girls. And maybe I'm getting overly sensitive because I'm a teacher, but these girls that show up to the track, they're like, oh, okay, that's my job if I decide to come up here to a racetrack is to be in spandex. And again, I'll come back to these are people that have never tried to keep up with Angie Moe or Mary Harris or Chrissy for that matter on a racetrack, and anybody that's arguing in favor of that, I would say any of those ladies would whoop their hides.
Well, let's stop mansplaining and let's actually ask Chrissy about this one. Chrissy, I know you got thoughts.
Well done.
Thank you, and I have thoughts, and I've been quiet, and let's guess about how I feel about this.
You are totally in favor. You wish your driving suit was tighter.
Let's just guess. I could buy my suit. No, I can't buy my suit tighter. I can't lead everyone to tie my shoes. So the tie, it's fine. It works well and it's great. I think this is ridiculous and I think it should stop. And that's my obvious answer. But I think this is this kind of thing, and actually the topic around it is really fanning the fire for racing is for boys. Girls are cheerleaders. Like girls are like, oh, we're just going to stand around and look dumb. Like this is just not helping the fight that's going on now. Not even talking about the women's only racing, but the idea of that track, whatever they're starting on, like does somebody like Danica or somebody does she have a grid girl? Like, I think, and I would hope not because she's great. And I think other women racers would be like, go away. But I still think it's just ridiculous. So
it's totally ridiculous.
And here's the thing. Price is Right has a guy. My cheerleading team at my high school has guys. My football team has girls. If you want eye candy, you got to open it up to both.
Yeah. So from this article that we were kind of basing this whole discussion off of, there's a bunch of women that are talking about it, and they're saying that this is to get rid of them would be the best thing. Everybody agrees we should get rid of them, but it would, with quotes from this article, strengthen the participation of women as drivers, officials, managers in motorsport. So not just eye candy, but taking on some other participation, and they don't have to be just drivers, but a woman in the pits doing something good is actually still a minority.
The Audi Le Mans team a couple of years ago when they were winning, the crew chief basically running all the strategy for Audi Le Mans team was a woman, and you only know that if you watch the documentary that I saw on Netflix about it. But that's a good example.
Did not know that, and you're right. And if you love racing as much as all four of us honestly do, then why would you exclude 50% of the population from participation?
Ugh, that's what I have to say to you all. Ugh. Okay, that's enough, or I'll flip out.
All right. You know what? My last word is, if NASCAR can figure it out, why can't F1?
Everybody. How about everybody? Let's just stop.
Everybody. Everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, so one last item, and then I have an emergency item. Nobody look at your phone until I get to the new item. But
2 minutes, Jeff.
In other news, big discussion
Pineapple,
happening.
Jeff.
I got you. Big discussion happening in the Lemons boards. It happened a couple of weeks ago, but a federal judge ruled in the Kevin Ward, Tony Stewart civil lawsuit that's happening that I guess Tony Stewart's lawyers were suggesting that couldn't be sued by Kevin Ward's family. If you don't remember, Kevin Ward got out of his car. It was in the mud somewhere in New York State. There was an accident. Kevin Ward sadly passed away.
Okay, yeah,
it's rule number 1.
Don't get out of the car. Well, there's some sort of New York State law that basically says that you can't a waiver for lawsuit protection does not work and it lists a bunch of things, and one of them is any recreational activity is the words that they used. So everyone was all upset in the Lemons board because they were linking this ESPN story that was oversymptomatic. It basically didn't get to the nuts and bolts, which was Tony Stewart's lawyers were overreaching. Waivers don't mean anything if you're negligent. It's only a New York State law. And the judge threw out Tony Stewart's lawyers crazy, trying to hook up the track waiver that you signed in when you enter trying to stop him from getting a lawsuit. Well, clearly, if you did something on purpose, it doesn't matter what you sign.
I deal with negligence every day, a lot of it in New York State, actually. And I think that's right on, is that you can't usually contract away your negligence no matter what you do. But talk about assumption of risk. When you get out of your car on a racetrack, you've assumed all of the risk, basically.
Right?
Yeah.
Spot on. Rule number 1.
Don't get out of the car.
Don't get a damn car.
The discussion kept going, and basically it's going to come down to, can the lawyers tell a bunch of people who have never been in a race car about oversteer and understeer and mud and big wings and how you actually countersteer and and blah 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 blah. It was a very interesting discussion with people who have circle track mud experience saying, basically on both sides.
Because your field of vision is minuscule in that. They're just itty bitty.
Also, the entire scope of the decision of that ruling only applies to New York so far, and I'm sure it's going to get appealed. So nothing to freak out over yet.
Nothing to freak out about. Okay, one more news item. You can all look at your phone. I have recently sent you a picture.
And I got nothing. Oh,
you got nothing.
I got nothing.
Oh, wait. Okay, here we go.
I have a box.
Oh,
today.
Yes.
Oh, that is
The
awesome.
return address from Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's
And
mom.
there's the address, and there's my address. I got a box of Christmas cookies from Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom. Thank you very much. My son already ate like 3 or 4.
No. I guess you're good at sharing.
That is awesome.
So that's the end of news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was the only news.
Not listener feedback.
So let's start with listener feedback.
We're doing listener feedback.
I
believe,
know.
Mental's got something to start with.
So back when I was still struggling with how to figure out my mic, I was on the Slip Angle podcast with Adam Jabay and Austin Cabot.
Actually, I listened to a great interview with Adam Jabay on Speed Secrets when I was porting the head of the Honda. He had a great interview on there.
Great guy, fantastic guy, just loves cars and works really hard so he can race cars. So Adam sent me a message, said, hey, he was 4 episodes in, and he said, and I quote, he's freaking liking the show. So thanks, Adam. Folks,
Yay.
if you don't know Slip Angle or tracktune.com, but he's one of the principal guys for Grid Life, and you need to go to Grid Life because Grid Life is fighting the splintering of our favorite hobby, and it brings it all back together. Drifting, time attack, track construction, and just awesome concerts. They do it up at Gingerman in the spring every year. It's a big, huge gearhead festival. They do a card show. They do everything. They come down at Road Atlanta this year. They had Ludacris as a musical guest on top of just insane on top of insane drifting. And I mean, imagine drifting down turn 12. That's what those guys were doing. And then great time at track. I had a great student, Doug Whitey, and it's a great community of gearheads, and you guys all need to go to a Grid Life event.
Yo,
cool. And I believe he's also sent me some instructions and tips about our gear and tech. So we will be hopefully fixing our live podcast.
Yes, exactly. He's like, here's how you do it live. Here's how you do a live feed. By the way,
we apparently need that because
we need that. The live one was terrible.
Sorry.
Yes, but on the note of live stuff, I understand that since we're on iTunes, we have an iTunes review.
We have our very first iTunes review. That is right. Are you ready for this?
Is it
5
good?
stars.
Okay, good.
what?
5 stars by Nick 2010.
Hey, Nikki.
The headline is worth your time to learn about racing.
Oh.
And underneath it says great hosts, interesting content, and funny. Who knew?
Hey,
Hi, Nick.
hey,
Do you
the,
want to be our first caller?
the check's in the mail. No.
Nick, when we get our Patreon page, you're just getting the top level right out of the gate.
There you go.
One.
Just giving it to
We
you.
do have a Patreon page, just
We
nobody's
do.
ever
We
touched it.
just haven't set it up. It's great.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
A bit of other. This is supposed to be news and notes. I put it in the wrong section.
Oh, yes, you did.
The NSX's plate, VTEC Yo, has arrived and has been installed.
And it's installed.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
absolutely.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, Racers Facebook participants, because, VTEC is the way to go.
That won the
Yes.
vote, so that's actually done and on the car.
Awesome.
The problem is that only the people that I'm driving from here to the storage place tomorrow are the voters.
That's true. Until
Because
we
it's
put
going
it
into storage
in
tomorrow.
storage in April. Yep. Oh well. Hey, so that's enough for that part of news and notes. Back to listener feedback.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about the Facebook question, Mental.
Well, so listener feedback.
which you really spammed the whole world.
Internet. The whole
I
internet.
have to say.
I spammed the whole of the Facebook and the Instagrams. Yes. But it relates to our topic tonight, and we're talking about Christmas shopping for gearheads. And so I asked all of our gearhead buddies, hey guys, what do you want? Whatever, chose Cthulhu or whatever chosen deity you want to bring you something for this holiday season. And we actually got some interesting stuff. Jeff, what do you got over there?
So, longtime podcast listener and Three Pedal Mafia Dean, Fix-It Bruce Leoty. He says, and this is great, I want a stacker trailer so he can bring 2 cars because he needs a backup.
He doesn't know. Black Betty is great. He's
used to driving the TR.
I know.
He needed 4 of them.
And listeners, this is a man who welded brake pads onto a clutch disc so that he could finish a race. That's where Bruce comes from. So
yeah. He also has the magic trailer. Anytime anyone needs anything in the paddock, he goes, "Oh, I got one in my trailer."
So you have to dig through the boxes, but you got it.
Yeah. He also offers that if you're looking for stocking stuffers, Nomex socks, always a good gift for a racer, and fuzz earbuds, the little
Fuse.
Fuse. Yeah, he wrote fuzz. I don't know.
Fuse. Well, that's
Bruce.
Bruce.
Since when is spelling Bruce's strong point?
Not ever.
He's too busy fixing crap.
Yeah.
Exactly. F-U-Z-E. They're awesome, fantastic. That's
the
what
ones we have too.
I have a block of it, but I have never yet built them. So
you got to do it.
Yeah.
Good.
So also Mark Furman, K-Car Masochist and Lemons Racer, says he wants a transmission for his 1986 Hyundai Excel. So it has shorter gear ratios, and he'll actually be able to use 4th gear. And I totally put this right next to Bruce because this is what Bruce should be asking for Betty, because that thing is like in 5th all the time. It needs lower gear setting.
No. The Hyundai needs more power because Betty can run all day in 5th because she's got
because the T5 is known to have an exceptionally strong 5th gear, so that's going to last.
Okay. We have so much listener feedback. We got to keep moving. Apocalyptic Racing, Brett Sloman, which thank you for listening, Brett Sloman. He wants a money tree so we can do more races, don't we all?
He's right.
Yep, right. Wendy Epstein, a motorcycle racer and Rambler enthusiast, wants enthusiastic people or people to help them with the prep work. Also, don't we all want that?
Uh-huh. Three Pedal Mafia is pretty good about that.
We are, but
if we didn't have so many far away teammates that lived in far-flung places like Atlanta.
Okay. So Mike Meyer would like a B-class win. Good luck.
Jeff, very hard to do. Very hard to do. You got to have something crappy enough to get in B, good enough to top 10. Keep going.
Yep. Tom Hinton, the other Canadian GRM Tom.
He's got both his pinkies.
Okay. So he wants to store his stuff somewhere without his wife finding it, and a space heater. Everybody loves space heaters.
You're in Canada, it's cold.
The garages in the winter.
Vicky did a pallet sale a couple of years ago, and she came home with this little mock fireplace, like it lights up with the goofy light bulbs. Space heater, and that's set up in the garage here in Atlanta. I actually built a fireplace for it. You'd be surprised what those little 110 space heaters will do if you just give them enough time.
Sure, in Atlanta it really needs to heat up from what 40.
You were freezing last weekend.
I needed it in the back of the RV all the day. So go ahead, Chris.
She did turn into a sauna back there.
Yeah.
Go, Chris.
Well, all right. So Eric Naslund. So you take another hella sweet logoed suit from Race Image and gives us specific sizes that are actually quite similar to mine. He's very well proportioned gentleman, and it seemed he had to sell both of his, so that's a shame. So yeah, another one would be great. Carl,
because Steve the dishwashing fairy has that totally cool hamburger helper one.
Yeah,
Cheerios. I think it's Cheerios.
Well, it's both. It's hamburger helper and Cheerios because that's a balanced meal. So
mess all over the place.
Yeah.
Our friend Carl, go ahead.
Hey, Carl, he wants a hella sweet Cheez-It race suit, which is jealous. Jeff says that is totally hella sweet. So.
I actually linked one on the Facebook page. I went to Race Image. They had one, and I linked it right there.
Oh, fantastic.
Everyone likes Cheez-Its.
Hell yeah.
Last weekend, I put cheese on my Cheez-Its.
That's too much.
Yeah, Chrissy did say that's too much. I said, shut up.
Chris, read this one from...
He just pooped today for the first time.
Gross. And keep going.
Chris, I want you to read this next one really precisely.
Okay. Got it. Nick Heine
That's not the joke. Keep going.
That is the joke.
Keep going.
Where does one acquire the tools needed to publicly shame drivers who get black flags?
This is fantastic.
We typically buy them from Amazon or just scoot up our cart forever.
Yes.
The accommodator is your search term.
Yeah.
Nick continues.
Use a private browser.
Nick continues. Also, quote, I would really like a Wera Zyklop ratchet set and a set of Wera Joker combo wrenches to replace my Aldi Work Zone stuff. I don't know what those tools are.
I'm guessing those are high end. They sound pretty high
actual
end.
listener feedback?
Mine
is
say
it actually from
mine
a post?
say Pittsburgh
Yeah,
on them,
absolutely.
and Craftsman.
And I would argue this is the same Nick that gave us our 5-star review.
Probably must be. He's funny. I like him. Keep going.
Nick.
And, well, Nick is obviously much higher class than we are. So cheers to you, my friend. Our friend Eric Klitzer, a 3 p.m. teammate and one lap veteran. Eric wants 80 plus weekends in a year. I'm sold. Let's do it.
Sure, let's do it.
Dope.
Can't fault that. We have John and Forrest. They both asked for quick lifts.
Heck yeah.
Quick lifts, great thing. Also mentioned was a motive adapter for each car. Another thing I cannot speak higher about. Love the motive adapter. I stole Chris's. I'm not giving it back.
Hey, didn't you already steal Jim's?
I did steal Jim's, but his was busted.
Well,
so
you have collected all of the 3 p.m. motive brake bleeders now.
That's right.
Oh no, we need those.
I'll put it on the Reading Express. You'll have it back soon.
I don't need it right now. It's fine.
Mental, read some.
Okay, so Jason Hopkins, Aaron, and Brandon Powell all talked about getting new helmets, and I'm going to talk about that in my segment when we get to the actual main topic. They all want new helmets. One of them wants a vinyl cutter and a dedicated crew member who doesn't drive.
Our vinyl cutter is totally paid for itself.
Yes,
vinyl cutter is
totally
awesome.
do it. Well, you need a team, like a team plus. Like you need a couple teams.
Yeah,
but it's good.
But if anybody needs vinyl, we have a cutter. We can help you out sometimes.
Oh,
also,
sure.
Rob Keller has a vinyl cutter, and I know he does things for a very reasonable price for other racers, so look him up too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Keep going, Mental.
And then Josh, who is actually the dedicated non-driving member of the Road and Track and Friends team up in there, but he talked about, and you're going to talk about those shoes. You guys had an extended discussion on that.
Yeah, I will discuss that.
Those kind of guys are out there. Here's the deal. You want to keep them well-fed and well-liquored if you ever get a dedicated non-driving team.
Let's not get them too liquored if they got to fix that. Let's
moderately liquored.
Moderately liquored.
That's right.
All right. So Steph Schrader claims that Santa owes her a 911. Not before I get mine.
Everybody, Santa owes everybody a 911.
No.
Please make mine Miami blue.
I want one of the Lee Keen Safari 911s, please.
I'm okay with my NSX. Thanks.
That's good. Keep going.
Corey Jenkins wants GDLS parts. Yeah.
Again, who doesn't?
Frank Rocket Ship Jenkins needs somebody with more patience to sort out the electrical issues in his daily driver, which we had a lovely episode on last week about patience and electrical systems. I don't have it. And then Scott Barton mentions that it's the off season and really everybody should be wanting sim racing stuff. And he's right.
Don't sim race.
I would love to sim race, except I have this thing called a kitchen that needs to be redone.
So
Is that the end?
That is, it segues fantastic into our main topic.
What do we want for Christmas?
Whoa, who's going to start? Mental, you started up since you got the mic.
Okay, so here's the thing is what a lot of folks probably may or may not know is that helmets and racing gear and racing suits and all that kind of stuff, they're just like cars. They're just like Apple products. They're just like shoes. They have new versions every year. And when they introduce the new versions, they close out the old stuff. Jeff, you got something.
I was just going to say Apple products. Who the heck owns any of that?
Nobody here, or all of us.
All of us.
Now,
Not me, sir.
They all have
Android for life.
And so who are we always waiting for when we start our podcast every single week to get
Motorola, exactly. Motorola.
Wait, and sometimes he has to use the iPad? Oh, wait.
Motorola StarTech user for life is more like it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So Safe Racer out of Joplin, Missouri. They're fantastic folks. Go on their website. They have good closeouts. Back when I was living in Oklahoma, me and 3 of my buddies, the Okies, we actually took an entire day off, drove up there from Oklahoma City, and spent the day wandering around the showroom. They are fantastic. And I ended up buying my first actual real helmet that I used in the Wartburg, my wheel-to-wheel helmet. It was a closeout closeout Bell helmet. And I used that thing right up until where it expired, repainted it. Now it's my instructing helmet. I love that helmet. It was a great deal. Poke around in there. I'm going to pimp Discovery Parts because they're here in Atlanta. They're out of Atlanta Motorsports Park. The owner is an Air Force veteran, a fantastic guy. And whenever I'm hanging out with the Hong Nor guys, their garage is right next to Discovery Parts, and his wife always brings those guys sushi or whatever she's eating at the time. So she feeds the Hong Nor guys. Fantastic guys, and they will walk you through everything, and that's where I got my current helmet. I have a Roux helmet, which is everything that a Stilo is, and if you want a Stilo, by all means get a Stilo, but I'm going to champion the Roux, ROUX. It is a great helmet with everything integrated in there for the same price as you would pay just for the base Stilo, and I'm really excited about that helmet.
This is an episode in itself of helmets, but I really would strongly encourage anyone buying a helmet, go test some on.
Yes. Oh, dear God.
I never understood this.
Yes.
I've always just bought them online until I was at a NASA event that had a gear guy. I had a little time between students. I tried on 5 different helmets. As much as I wanted to love the Roux because of how many great features it has, it didn't fit my head. And
that head shape discussion. Yeah. We will get to that.
That's a different episode, but that's the biggest thing. Do not buy a helmet without trying one on. Thank you. Next.
What I like about Safe Racer, Discovery Parts, and Winding Road is they all support everything. Discovery Parts will be down at Barber when we go back there. Safe Racer is at events. Winding Road shows up at NASA events, and they will more than happily slap you 100 helmets on your head to get you to buy the one you love.
Yep.
So. Yeah, and what I want is, everyone's talking about the suits at Racer's Image, but if I hit the lottery or even win just a minor jackpot or actually sell my Porsche, I want to go get me a custom-made one at Henchman Indy. Jack Baruth has one, and Jack and Charlie both got them. They fit great, they're lightweight, they look cool, and you get it exactly the way you want. And as much time as we spend doing this, maybe we should actually invest some time in those. Of course, Chris and Chrissy, you guys, your suits are pretty dope.
Yeah, I've got a pretty sweet Alpine Stars one that I really like. It's really lightweight. It fits me really nicely. It's flexible. I have zero complaints about that one. It was expensive, but it was 100% worth it.
Mm-hmm. I like mine, but it's fine. I got it cheap because they only had extra small and extra large, so that's why Jim and I match. We don't wear the same. We don't wear the same. We just wear the same looking. So yes, it's fine.
Chris, you're next on the list, but I'll jump in here real quick. I am going to get a Race Image suit probably this winter because my current suit is a very great Sparco. It's silver. It's getting a little dirty. It's getting a little dungy.
It was silver.
It was silver. But I'm tired of smelling on day 2.
No.
You smell on day 0.
I know. Well, I have cleaned it. It does not smell anymore, but I'm telling you, there's something. The funk is not in my suit. It's in my body. I'm fully aware. So, 2 suits. If I ever get one again, I want to be able to have a dry suit on day 2.
Well, Jeff, one other key that I think will help you is stop doing other stuff in your race suit. Like you'll get out, you'll like start wrenching and get in your race suit. Just don't do that. Just like I take mine off right away.
He'll run 5 laps.
I take my suit off all the time.
All right.
I never stay in it because it's so silver. I don't want to get it dirty, you know. But anyway, Chris, you actually have the pod next, so go for it.
Stuff for Christmas. I've been so thrilled with the cordless impact gun that Chrissy got me last year. Like
Christmas present.
Yeah, I've had air for years and years and years, and it's so much better than not having air. But now that cordless stuff has gotten as advanced as it is, I can't imagine not having it. Like I don't fire up the air compressor unless I actually need to like use specifically air for something, like filling up a tire. Otherwise, I just use the Makita one that Chrissy got me. It has like 800 foot-pounds of torque off. Like there's nothing it can't do. The battery lasts for a whole weekend of racing and then has tons left. It's been great. So if anything,
she had a good research team, I believe.
I did.
Thank you. Cordless tools are tough because once you buy into an ecosystem, you kind of need to stay with that ecosystem.
Yeah.
Well, we already committed to one, and we don't want to switch over.
I already
to
had
another
Makita
one,
drill, and I quite like Makita stuff, so I'm happy with the Makita things we have. So so now it'd be great if Santa would get me a 3/8" impact wrench. That'd be good.
Oh, maybe.
See, because I bought into the Craftsman 9.6 volt ecosystem a while back, and I still have some garage tools that. And then when I bought my Ford truck, I got a free Milwaukee setup. But the charger on that one died. And so, now I'm looking for my third ecosystem of cordless tools.
When did you have a Ford truck?
I had my 2005 F-150.
Who knew?
Bought it new.
Wow.
Really?
Sold it when I lived in Colorado.
Well, I guess that's why the Milwaukee's not doing so hot anymore, because it's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Other thing is, like we've been talking about, quality safety gear is a great gift for most racers, and a lot of your families will be thrilled to give that to you if you just give them some real specifics on what you want. Like, hey, your mom is probably going to want to buy you some safety gear, and quality good garage workwear, like good Carhartt stuff, or good quality gloves, something anything like that.
Yeah,
like that stuff that you guys have. You and Jeff both have the protected knuckles on your gloves, because I've got a lot of the cheap garage gloves that have grind holes through them, where the grinder got away from me and then goes through the glove into my hand.
Mm-hmm. They're kind of hard to find, actually, like the double din.
I like
the double.
The Harbor Freight Western Safety, or whatever they're called now. The red and black ones, not the black ones. The red and black ones are the heavier duty ones. They last longer. Although I did get a good deal on a set of 3-pack Husky ones for $20. I'm seeing how well they wear. We're working on that now.
I think I got that set too.
Okay.
No. Anyway, that was just the pants that they got you for work.
Oh, stop. All right, Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was going to mention that I've been wearing the nitrile dipped gloves and just disposing them, having lots of them. As soon as they get a little bad, ditch them, get another pair. Not nitrile gloves, like rubber gloves, but the nitrile dipped gloves. They're like real thin gloves. Palm is dipped in nitrile. I love them. But anyway, so let me tell you what's
dexterity in both of those. The dexterity in the nitrile dipped versus the dexterity of the Harbor Freight ones.
See, I like the nitrile dipped. I think they're a little bit more tactile feel, a little thinner.
I've gotten so used to the other ones. My feel's quite good, but you have to get ones that fit you properly. If you get ones that are one size too big, you lose all of the feel. Like I've got some around the garage that are one size too big. I hate working in them. Where when the ones that fit me properly, which in the Harbor Freight is a large, it's just right. And like I actually, when I wear the other ones, I can't put a nut on. I can't do anything. And occasionally you still need to take a glove off when you have to feel something just right. But for the most part, I've been really thrilled with those Harbor Freight red and black ones. And the Husky ones have been quite good too.
Yeah, I've lost the ability since I moved to the nitrile. And Mental saw me in them all last weekend because, again, it was freaking snowing in Atlanta at the last race, and I needed more heat.
Yeah, well, I had my 2 sets of Huskies, and I just kept rotating them. One would go in front of the furnace in Mental's RV, and the other one would go on my hand as I did stuff. So.
Dry and warm.
Yeah. So if that's all you got, I got 2 on my list. I did mention the race image suit, but one of the things that I actually really care about is like my feet, and I did not know this existed until it was brought up on our Facebook page. I don't remember who brought it up.
It was Josh Howard, who's the dedicated mechanic. He travels from Michigan just to help out the Road and Track and Friends guy.
Yeah,
fantastic
Josh.
guy.
I didn't know you knew him.
Yeah, great guy, fantastic guy. You'll love him.
So New Balance makes pit shoes that are SFI. So they're real live sneakers with real live, what do we call them? Bottoms, treads, whatever. They're not like little thin things that you're meant for driving. They're meant for hanging out and wrenching in the paddock. They're tall. They've got straps on them. They got a good lacing. They're expensive though. They're $167.50 from RPX Express, but they're real live shoes that are SFI rated. So I might check out.
Note to self: did you buy your brother a gift?
I did not buy my brother a gift.
Your brother
is Jim
needs
listening?
Some shoes.
Is Jim listening? He can buy you a gift.
Well, maybe you should exchange because
your
brother needs.
Jim came
to
Road Atlanta with a pair of boat shoes.
And that's it.
Stop.
I'm on a boat.
Right. Stop.
Right.
And so it was cold and wet, and he was sad. So go ahead.
All right. So the last thing on my list is this winter, the project is the trailer. I bought the enclosed trailer. Don't have anything built yet. I need tables. I need storage. I need all that kind of stuff. So, basically lumber. That's what I need.
Hey, so the pitch shoes make sense because when I was working for Extreme Experience full time, I was actually my old racing shoes. I walked around in those all day, and they would kill my feet.
Terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
They're not designed to stand up all day.
And I run in minimalist running shoes. And it would still kill my feet, and then also because they were kind of expensive, they wore out absurdly quickly. So it's good to know that those pitch shoes are out there. That's smart.
Yep. Awesome.
Chrissy, you're up next.
Okay, so I couldn't possibly say, I need this as a surprise to anyone because all of the people that give me gifts listen to this podcast. So I'm not gonna spring anything on anybody.
Might surprise you.
Maybe. Hey. I don't need a whole lot for this Christmas.
Amazon Prime ready. All right.
Yay. So I already asked for some jewelry and some running socks. I'm pretty sure they're coming. And Santa got me some new mechanics gloves, which are black and pink. So then I know that they are mine, which is great.
They're not there yet.
Hey, did you just assume our gender? Because Jeff and I will totally wear those.
That's fine. You won't fit in them, which is great. That's why
I have tiny hands.
No, not tiny. It's my hands. So you can't borrow them. So I can't find the pink ones in small. It doesn't have to be pink, but I can't find the smaller ones with double fingers. So I usually just get them and throw them away. And also, I wanted just to say the same thing as everybody said about the final. Now is the great time for gear, to ask for gear. So super quick story. My first time I got my first helmet, I asked Chris for a helmet or I asked Chris for gear because this is when we first started racing. And so basically he needed to get measurements to figure out what kind of helmet would be appropriate. So he told me to
here, honey, drink this and try not to remember anything that happens afterwards.
Not at all what happened. So basically he told me to close my eyes, and I stood out with my arm.
Oh no! Hey, Chrissy, stop! Stop!
I saw this on the 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Hey, hang on. The sound went dead on the recording right when you said that I made you stand up with your arms out.
Oh no!
So start from there.
Okay, so quick backstory.
Jeff and I are totally loaded for these jokes.
Shoot! So now we had some internet problems. I apologize. So anyway, Chris asked me
live every time, folks.
To not, and we don't cut. Awesome. So we don't. So I didn't know what he was trying to buy me. So I stood out. And he said, "Stand up with all of your appendages out," and he's going to measure all of them. So he measured my wrist and my head and my neck and my legs.
Wasn't this a movie? Didn't we?
I'm writing this down. Appendages out. 50 Shades of Grey. Go on, keep going.
So I stood up, and he measured my head and my neck and my arms and my stomach and my legs. And
Sorry,
my
I have
feet.
to get that inseam measurement again. I keep forgetting what it was.
So anyway, he did this to not tell me that he was buying me a helmet.
No, he was buying you a Monster Energy suit so you could stand there and hold an umbrella at the racetrack.
Oh no, he didn't.
Hey, those are one size fits most.
Oh, no. Right, I'm a small. It's easy. So so it's a great time to get gear. Ask your parents. Tell them what you want. It's a good idea. That's what
awesome. I got. Well, hopefully Santa is good to all of us. I think we're moving into the next topic today, which is hella sweeter but terrible. Who's brought this one to the pod?
So Tetanus Racing threw this at us when we were hanging out in their RV at Road
when
11.
They were losing the national championship to us.
Actually, at the time, yeah, they were still in contention. And
they were still kicking our butts for the national championship.
But they brought us by, and they've tried to do this a couple of times, and they want to do the gathering of the Chris's because there is an excessive amount of Chris's that race crab can entry-level racing. For example, in this podcast alone, there are 3 of us. My OK Speed team, there's another one there. And, of course, Tetanus has a Chris. Actually, I think they have 2. So they've been trying
Chris
to do this.
Overzet and Chris,
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Chris, yeah.
So the gathering of the Chris's at the Ridge, and Chris and Chrissy, you guys have raced the Ridge. I have not. And he was trying to tell us.
I think it might be my favorite track ever that I've driven.
I think so too. Mine as well.
Strong words.
Absolutely.
You guys have both raced Barber, so that is impressive.
I wouldn't say we raced.
We didn't. I kind of saw Barber.
I remember staring at an oil pressure gauge 3/4 of the time.
Actually, that's really all I remember. Like, honestly, when I
remember
think about it,
wrenching on someone's not ready, broken ass truck in the cold on my
freaking cold on your birthday.
Medlock got really quiet.
You weren't wrenching, you were welding.
I wrenched too. And I hung that exhaust with zip ties just to get down to check.
And we had no water. And it was cold. And it was his birthday.
But fortunately, we're actually going to be racing.
In fact, you wouldn't come out from underneath the truck so we could sing you happy birthday with the cake.
I was too pissed off at you. You bring this car, like, yeah, car's done, no problem.
Yeah, that cage is not passing.
Right, exactly. We actually are going to be racing at Barber with Hamza in his very well-prepared car.
Yes. And you're going up against me and a very well-prepared Thunderbird, so it's going to be a blast.
Whose Thunderbird are you in?
Jerry Ringel. Jerry Ringel is bringing his Mighty Mighty Thunder Chicken, and he's painted it up in a Bill Elliott Budweiser livery. And Jerry Ringel, if you don't know Jerry Ringel, he's done with the Rambler. He's a staple. Raced a Pinto for a couple of years. Great guy.
Did he have the Thunderbird at NCM when we were there?
No, he didn't.
Different Thunderbird. Okay.
Different. This is the late model, the more Aerobird Thunderbird. It's the
one
90.
The one everyone hates. Okay.
Except
2.3 turbo or V8.
V8. We call this one Queen Elizabeth because when she's running well, she requires a little bit of space. But when she's not running right, we call her Liz because Liz is a bitch.
Now, Jeff,
there goes our E rating on this
Jeff,
one.
The Aerobird is the.
Oh darn! You did it.
No, that's not enough to get an E.
Fine.
We're not doing George Carlin's words. Now, Jeff, the Aerobird is the one that had either the 3.8 V6, which is a complete turd, or a 5-liter, or 4.6, or a supercharged 3.8, which is an even worse turd. So it was the last generation of Thunderbird before it went to the Retrobird.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. No, I thought the Aerobird was the previous generation when the headlights got enclosed, like Matt Ferenczak drives.
I know the one you're talking about. They had a different word for it, but
the Laughing Clown Ferenczak, I believe that was called the Aerobird. Right. I thought.
Because that was when like the GM had to respond with the 2+2 on the Pontiac and the Chevys because Bill Elliott was whooping everybody's hide.
Well, no, they're all terrible race cars.
They're all terrible.
Yeah, okay, this is boring. Keep moving.
Hey, yeah, I lost interest about 10 thousandths ago. Thanks.
But no, I was.
That was the best line ever.
Well,
okay.
I'm glad I had it. So what is the hell is sweeter but terrible? What about the Gathering of Chris's?
July 28th and 29th, 2018, the Gathering of the Chris's. And I want to try to get Chris Mills out of Oklahoma. And, of course, you guys already have you guys have a ride with Spank this year.
Yeah.
And the answer
we can't make it.
The answer is no. The answer is no.
Oh, okay. Well, then we've got to find another Gathering of the Chris's. Maybe the one out in New Jersey, the BFE Grand Prix, the June 9th and 10th. Out in High.
So if we could raise our hands, we can't because we're not on video.
Hey, here's the races we can go to this year: Barber, the Northeast races, and Road Atlanta.
Even Road Atlanta.
But Road Atlanta, we're most of the way to the Gathering of the Chris's. The three of us are there. Chris Champion's there. Like we're getting there.
That's true. Yeah, I get Chris Mills to come out to the next one of those too.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
We're getting close.
Jeff, you just have to change your name to Chris.
That's all right. I'll do it.
All right.
I think it's time to get to the most important Chris in our entire podcast. It's the Chrissy. And her favorite part, just the tip.
The most disappointing part.
This is just the tip this week is all about food poisoning. So we've talked about decorations. We talked about all these other fun things. So really food poisoning is a thing. So super quick story right before I tell you all the things that you shouldn't do to not get food poisoning. A Christmas, about, probably 10 years ago, we'll say, there was a Christmas that my whole family, extended family got sick. So I don't know if it was food poisoning, but we think it was. Basically, we, had a Christmas dinner with, aunt and uncles and a whole big part of the family, Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we're all kind of like, we're getting really sick. And each one of us are kind of like, so we're sitting at the Christmas table. and we're all sitting there, and my sister leaves, and she's like, I really don't feel well. She leaves. And then like an hour later, I'm like, I don't feel well, and I leave. Then my dad leaves. So my mom and my aunt and uncle are still sitting, and I think my other sister had already left as well. So they're all just like, what is going on? This has got to stop. And my aunt and uncle were like, I got to go. Like, whatever is happening to your family is the worst. So we found that every family had at least, they had all of them except maybe one got this sickness. So we just all got some kind of food poisoning.
So, hey, that's the danger of not cooking one of your 7 fishes. So.
Maybe.
Yes, and I want, because when I was in Africa, and actually before that, I've had food poisoning like 7 times, and you usually know in about 20 minutes, because your body goes, all right, I don't know what's in here, but it's all bad. Everything out, nearest available exit. And it is not fun. When I was in Africa, I got down to about 140 pounds because of various bouts of food poisoning and intestinal parasites. So listen up, folks. Wife didn't recognize me when I met her in Ireland. So, yeah.
Go, Jeff.
Go, Chrissy. No, I'm taking.
Oh, okay. And basically, so here's my tips. Don't get food poisoning, because that sounds like a really terrible way to spend your Christmas, right?
Top tip.
So top tip, right? Don't rinse your raw meat and your poultry before cooking. Use a food thermometer. So if you don't have one, maybe you should get your friend, somebody, get one them for Christmas.
A lovely stocking stuffer. And then make sure you're refrigerating your food. I think a big thing is like, now that it's cold in most of the Northeast where we are, you think it should be cold enough to keep stuff in your car, but it really may not be. So you really should just like bring stuff in and put it in the fridge.
Although the porch is a great refrigerator.
It's good for beer, but not stuff that's going to spoil and kill you. I mean, let's be honest.
It's not a porch; it's an NSX.
No, I have a porch. What?
Terrible.
The porch has the engine in the wrong place.
Oh gosh, I didn't get that. Okay, so don't save leftovers forever and ever, right? Because I wanted to save my turkey forever and ever, and finally I was like, we gotta go. So make sure
it was because it was July.
Yeah, kind of. If you're gonna reheat stuff, make sure it's boiling when you reheat it. Wash your hands a ton of times. You can't do that enough, and then make sure you're using different cutting boards and washing everything. If you have meat on something, just don't. I know Jeff is like, this is all what he lived in. Like, he's like,
absolutely.
You can't even do this. But it's one of those things that you could easily start cross-contaminating, and just it can happen really quickly.
And here's a top tip from Red Atlanta. You probably shouldn't thaw your whole pig in an enclosed trailer with 3 space heaters pointing at it overnight.
No, but it worked, and the pig was great, and we didn't get sick.
And I'd like to point that out.
God loves fools and drunks.
Since 2009, you guys have been doing these pretty full tilt cookouts, and we have had 0 knock on wood.
Gosh, that's kind of threat I don't like.
Or no. If someone gets sick, we're just going to say they're hungover.
Bingo.
Yes,
true.
Because we, even at the campsite, we are brutal about all of us, everybody on the team. We all wash our hands. We wash our cutting boards. We have the dishwashing fairy. We take care of that kind of stuff, and we keep stuff separate. We keep the poultry separate from the pork and all of that. It matters. It matters a lot.
I won't mention that one of my mechanics gloves smells like the pig. Sure it does. I put them on yesterday or a few days ago, and I was like driving my car, and I was like, what's that smell? And I smelled my gloves. I was like, my God, it's raw pig. I forgot I was wearing these when we cut the pig open.
So now it's all over your steering wheel.
And I distinctly remember Chris telling you, hey, Jeff, you should probably change your gloves.
I did. I put the latex on after that, but I'd already, the cooked pig had the latex on. The raw pig, I had my mechanics gloves on.
All right. My last thing is make sure that you make things rest. Just Google it. Like, if you don't know, just Google it and figure out how things need to cook, what the temperature is, put a thermometer in it, and then make sure you don't die. That's it.
Chrissy, I love this, your map to food safety holiday that you put in the notes.
Did you like that as my little infographic?
I was going to show that to the lovely and talented Jennifer, the super wife who actually teaches food safety. I think you should absolutely post this up on the Facebook. For
I will. I just didn't want to do it until after the podcast. So there it is.
Dope.
There it is. Dope. I think we've reached the end of the podcast.
Wait, hang on for just a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, we have reached the end of the podcast.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone's thrilled that we're done. You've wasted another perfectly good hour of your life.
Thanks.
But we love you all the more.
And we can't hear Jeff talking at all,
Jeff,
so I'll say, hey,
Jeff,
everybody, we hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you enjoying the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any questions or want to give us some show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page.
There we go.
Racers,
okay.
Or like our Facebook team, Facebook page, 3 Pedal Mafia Lemons Race Team. If you'd like to help us produce a show, and who possibly would want to do that, donate to the show at patreon.com/everyoneracers or send Jeff a Home Depot gift card for the trailer. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up unless there is no shiny side, and then just keep the wheels down at least, all right?
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Come back for our next episode.
Thanks. Bye.
It should be a live episode next one.
Bye. Don't let that dissuade you.